All right, Algebra 1, Lesson 112, page 471. What we have here is more on multiplication of radical expressions. Multiplication of radical expressions. Jade, you got to quit falling apart on these, okay? Do what you know how to do. These are not difficult. You got to remember, when we're done, how to simplify radicals. Y'all are freaking out on this thing. It's got to stop. Okay, we're going to do FOIL. I don't say that off. First, inside, O-I. I can spell a little bit. First, outside, inside, last. It's the distributed property twice. Okay, so we go 2 times 3. Don't add. That's 6. We go 2 times radical 8. And it's a plus, so it's 2 times radical 8. That's not that difficult. Right here, we're going to go radical 2 times 3 plus 3 radical 2. Okay, it just is what it is. Okay, right here, radical 2 times radical 8, and that's a plus. 2 times 8 is 16, radical 16. Now we're going to simplify and combine any like terms. Okay, just make sure you get this part right here. And if there's a negative here or a negative here, make sure you get the right signs on things. This is way not difficult, but you have to follow the steps. Please don't try to jump from here down to the answer, okay? This is just a 6 plus 2. This is radical, 4 and 2. This is 3 radical 2. I can't do anything with that. Now help me here. The square root of 16. The square root of 16 is not radical 4. The square root of 16 is 4, the number 4. All right? 6 plus 4 is 10. The square root of 4 is 2. 2 times radical 2. This is plus radical 4 radical 2 plus 3 radical 2. We've already added the 6 and the 4. All right? 10 plus. There's 4 radical 2, 3 radical 2. That would be somewhere in the vicinity of 7 radical 2. Y'all, on these radicals, don't let them confuse you. Just work them one step at a time. If you know what this is, I don't even have to do that. I know what the square root of 8 is. It's 2 radical 2. Boom, it's just done. 2 radical 2 right here. That is. But if you need to take the steps, do it. Just make sure when you take the square root of 4, it's not, you don't get the square root of 2. It is just 2. When you take the square root of 16, it is not the square root of 4. It's just 4. You got to quit doing that. That's crazy. Stop it. All right, this one here. Now, do not just square this and square this. Y'all can't. That's not what it is. It's the square root of 2x plus radical 3y times the same thing again, 2x plus 3y. This is what it is. You have to have FOIL. You have to have a middle term. This times that. That is the square root of 4x squared. Yeah? And the square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of x squared is x. You got to get this part here right. This is just simplification of radical. Okay? This one here comes over to here. This is multiplying under the radical, and it's both plus, or it's a positive. 2 times 3 is 6xy. That's just what it is, okay? Right here, it is going to be, again, plus the square root of 6xy. And then this one here is going to be, that's a y, and that's a y. It's not 34. It is, excuse me, 3 times 3 is 9, y squared. When that is simplified, the square root of 9 is 3, and the square root of y squared is y. There is one of these, and there's one of these. So in the center, we have 2 of those. And it is not simplifiable. There's just 2 of the square root of 6xy. This and this are like adding, it's like if we had x plus x. Down here, we'd have 2x. So we have 2 of this. This needs to be simplified. This is a square root. The square root of 4 is 2. The square root of x squared is x. The square root of 9 is 3. The square root of y squared is y. That's the answer. It's done. Please, the two places y'all are having trouble with this is, I think you do this fairly well. You freak out on this sometimes and this. Just make sure you're simplifying step at a time. Okay? Over here, do not just square this and just square that. That's that and that. There is a middle term. You have to write it out. There is a middle term. There is a way to shortcut that, but I'm not seeing you guys doing the long cut well, so don't do the shortcut.